some people coming in. Has it been a year? Fast. Well, it's beautiful for Eli and me to be back in Australia and back in Sydney, back with you most of all. That's why we come here. We get to go lots of wonderful places all over the world, and we love being in wonderful places, but it's really the people we come to the places for. That there's some call from people in particular places and some answer in both directions. Some call and some answer. So I take it as a privilege that we meet. And I take it as a serious meeting, an important meeting, possibly in your life, an essential meeting. Sydney is such a pleasure capital. Pleasures are wonderful. As we all know, we are animals, human animals, that appreciate pleasure and often seek pleasures. And there are all kinds of pleasures. Sensual pleasures, pleasures of success, pleasure simply to live, pleasures of health, pleasures of relationship. But until the truth of oneself, the core of oneself is discovered, no pleasure will give you fulfillment. There's a certain level of maturity when you recognize that, yes, I can get a pleasure, and yes, I'm fulfilled in that moment, but in the next moment, I'm seeking another pleasure, or a different pleasure, or I'm trying to hold on to whatever pleasure I've gotten, and my life is slipping away. In that recognition, there is a maturity, a ripening, a recognition of what comes and goes, and a fertility in that recognition to actually discover what is always here, to discover lasting fulfillment. So in pleasure places like Sydney, like Australia in general, like the Western world in general, it's often the most difficult, because there are so many distractions and so many promises made by those distractions that we have to learn over and over and over again that what we hope will last doesn't last if it's something that was not always here. And in the ripening of a soul, in the ripening of an individual intelligence, there's then the possibility to tell the hard truth of what comes and goes and what's always here. I mean, it's a simple matter, but it is also one of the hardest matters of a lifetime. And so we have this evening, and then Eli will be with you tomorrow night, and I will be back on Sunday night. Then there's a weekend in Blue Mountains, and Eli will offer an Enneagram 5-day, all simply in support of your discovering the futility of finding fulfillment in anything that comes and goes, however sweet it may be when it comes, and however you may grieve it when it goes, and the absolute possibility for you to find the lasting fulfillment of the truth that is always here. All that is in the way is our habits of grasping or avoiding or fighting. That's all, and that's major. But it's all. So in our willingness to meet, to be here together, to receive from each other, we can recognize those habits of mind and we can stop them. We can simply be here without grasping anything, without hiding from anything, and without fighting with anything. Then we are the spaciousness of intelligence. Individual intelligence, human intelligence, collective intelligence. And in that, we get to discover what is always here. Where is home? Where is fulfillment? Who each of us is, finally. So that's why we are here. And I make an assumption that that's why you are here. Sometimes we have to wrestle it out of you. Sometimes we get to laugh it out. Sometimes it's frustrating. But if you will make a commitment to yourself without knowing the outcome of that commitment, just a surrender to yourself, then you can receive the truth of yourself. And that's what we are here for. And that's what these 3 public meetings and then the retreat and the 5-day are here for. So I welcome you and invite you to drink as deeply as possible. I assure you, I will drink as deeply as possible from each of you, from all of you, and be augmented by that drinking. I never know how these meetings will formulate themselves. My agenda is that you wake up to yourself, you wake up to what is always here. You surrender your thinking process to that which is always here so that it can follow it rather than trying to lead it. And then we celebrate that in an unknowable way. And we live that in discoverable ways each moment. But how that comes about, we discover in the meeting. And for that, I need your participation, your full participation. That's why this chair is here, and that's what Sue is telling you about. That it is an opportunity to be here in a very private, intimate way with lots of other people, cameras and lights, which just amps it up. Some people are laughing because they know this. So with that, I would really like to hear from you, to see what it is you want, and what brings you here. There's so many choices in an evening, in a Friday evening, to go through tunnels, cross bridges, fight the rain. Something brings you here. It's not casual. You could say, well, my friend made me come, or my wife made me come. But there was something that said yes. And so that's what I would like to expose and discover and deepen in. You will find that whoever is speaking up here, if you pay close attention and you're not up here, is speaking some aspect of your own mind and your own awakening. So it's not about everybody getting a turn up here. It's recognizing that anybody who's up here is contributing to your awakening by exposing how you sleep to yourself and how simply you can awaken to yourself. So, who's first?